pleased to see some young people here as well, because I think Brookhouse likes to open its doors to allow for healthy debate on all kinds of issues, and this is certainly an issue that needs healthy debate. So we're very honoured to have you all here today to join in this discussion.
It is indeed a historic function. It is the first time in this country that we are sitting down to debate a crisis such as we have facing our magnificent elephants.
Because, as you've heard before, this is the first time, although it might not be believable, that a debate of this sort is being held.
Elephants are parts of our heritage.
So the one thing that we will agree on is that elephants are special. The only thing that we do disagree on is how do we value how special they are. We don't think that myths of creation, a collective consciousness, is going to save our elephants.
How does the presence of the very elephants impact on the life of a Masai Morang?
I know for many of us, we think of value as money in the pocket. If I had to wake up every morning and walk through the bush with what I value the most.
If we keep going like we are, if we keep placing the value or expecting people to be good and protect elephants just because they're good people and that's what you're supposed to do, the value of the extinct animal will be a museum artifact.
A single Homo sapien can be a force multiplier. Innovation is the missing link. And once we involve all Africans in this conversation, you will make a Botswanan, a Zimbabwean recognize the value of elephants. Not even in terms of markets, there are ways we can extract more value from elephants alive if that's what we're doing.
Session number 2, how can we save elephants?
You change the incentives, which means we must change the interest that a person has to ensure that elephants live beyond today.
Chinese market. So this is the first argument, that simply supply or the demand far outstrips the supply that we are able to produce. The only way that we can conserve this wonderful national treasure, this Pan-African global treasure, has to be by getting us all to become rangers. And I would leave you with that. Will you become a ranger too?
How could we share this heritage with all people across Kenya so that they involve themselves free willingly and to join this cause?
If I'm not empowered economically where the elephants come in, how will you convince me not to transform it into cash if somebody comes to me to kill it?
And what that tells you is he has no personal ownership of that elephant. And therefore he has no incentive at all to protect it.
There are models out there, and I think Amboseli is a great model, where you find the Maasai community able to reach out and take care of the elephants that are in their habitat.
So our challenge as human beings who share this country and this planet with elephants is, how do we stop poaching? How do we stop the trafficking? How do we stop the demand? And this challenge is not just a Kenyan challenge. It's an international challenge. It's a global challenge.
One, I would ban the Kenya the Kenya Wildlife Service.
The second thing I would do is actually support KWS, not ban KWS. And I disagree with Charles saying that we should just, accept these market forces, and Kwame said the same thing. These things have worked for such a long time. We should just apply the same to elephants. Well, unless we kill that demand, it doesn't matter how much work we put into anti-poaching, prosecutions, we will not succeed until we manage to extinguish the demand for ivory in Asia. Thank you.
We can do whatever you like. If an industry gives the people, the communities, just 0.03%, the poacher will always win. And that's why the poacher wins. He pays better than the government and the Kenya.
So what will happen to elephants when 20,000 elephants have to be removed within the next 15 years as Kenyans change their land use to agriculture, to hardening the land?
A child who grows up in Amboseli goes to school in order to leave the place. We don't have children who dreams of protecting animals because they hurt us, they kill us.
How do you intend to navigate an environment where people have come to worship money you're actually dealing with the Al Capone types in this country.
A Kenyan is 3-4 times more likely to go to London to see the London Eye than to see an elephant.
Why should many people invest in elephant conservation projects when most of that money is just spread around for other things?
Get out! I can tell them to come inside. See, after creation, man wasn't only given the Garden of Eden to cut off all his needs.
65 years old, my age now.
And we hope, as Wildlife Direct, that you have understood the debate, you have understood the issues, and that when you go home, your brain will be on overload, just thinking up solutions.
One more like this. One more like this. It actually strikes me as quite strange that we've never had these debates in public and that we create a conversation among Kenyans about how 40 million people could become rangers and could all become conservationists for the most important national treasure we have. And in the same way that we see citizens at this point not taking this as a personal priority, one day it could be the case that actually it is as normal as anything for Kenyans to actually embrace the national heritage that we do have.
In my view, one of the things that's come out is that it's become clear that what we have today, which is basically just hugging elephants and saying only rhinos and elephants should wear tusks, is failing. It's not enough for us to actually drive this. That's the first. The second point is our team made it very, very clear that just because you say there's a market solution does not mean you can derogate markets by talking about the worst failures and all that. It is very, very possible, and we've started to think about solutions, and the market view will have to be part of the portfolio of solutions.
I think it's a good start. I think we need new solutions, and this is a good place as any to get some. It's also a good way to get the next generation interested in conservation. I don't just think it's important for conservation's sake, but also for learning how to have conversations where we disagree with each other, but we're still friends afterwards. That's something that's missing in this country.
I think it was courageous for Wildlife Direct to do it, because most people who are working in a certain space are never comfortable to allow a debate which might, detract from it. So it was wonderful. It was lively, and I think it was a courageous and wonderful thing to do.
I thought it was a terrific debate, a wonderful opportunity for people to come together, Kenyans and people all over the world through social media, to discuss, the really critical challenges around how do we save elephants. We heard a lot about the value of elephants, how important they are, why they're a very special species. We heard some about how to save them, and we heard about how to reduce the demand. So I think it was a tremendous opportunity for people to discuss solutions to what is really a critical problem.
Today's event was amazing. It was very scary because nobody knew what questions were going to come up or how they would be handled by the various participants. And it was very clear that everyone wants elephants to be saved, but there are some very radical different approaches, and the debate was not so aggressive. It was kind of fun. It was fantastic. It was really amazing to see so many people came to watch it. 2.2 million people came online. This does matter. This stuff really does matter. Today's debate showed that it's not an elitist issue. We have children from Dandora, a slum, children from Kibera dancing. This is an incredible moment for Kenya to show that everybody cares. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor or educated or not educated. Actually, elephants matter. And it's not just money. It's our heritage, it's our culture, it's our identity. And that really came through very clearly today.